What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Court Report. We have a great show for you today. It was an interesting All-Star weekend, to say the least. We're going to break it down. Plus, we have the rest of the season to look at for the Nuggets. And, of course, we're going to break down some styles. Let's get into it. Hello. Welcome in. It's DC, your boy, Fitted Nuggets fan. And we have a special guest today. Gianna Girardi is in studio. Welcome back. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing great. Ready for basketball to be back after a bit of a break.
Yeah, a little bit of an all-star break, We'll get into that for sure. How you doing after your trip out to the all-star break?
Yeah, I was out there for All-Star weekend, had a great time in LA, got to see some old friends and just do some fun activities around the city. So I had a great time. It was good. Good to be back though. Now it's all about laser focusing in for the rest of the year. It's go time now.
You're absolutely right. I mean, this is the most important part of the season coming up here. As much as you want to win at the beginning of the season, this last stretch is really the most important because you get to see where you're at. You get to see where you're going to be at in the playoffs and your seedings, and you start to kind of fight for that. And we've already heard Adelman kind of talk about that a little bit, saying, hey, we got to start thinking about that in the second half. So I'm excited to talk about so much basketball today. But first, let's get into our mind shaft and let's get down to the Nuggets.
Yeah, we got a lot to discuss with these Nuggets. They were really struggling entering the All-Star break, to say the least. Thankfully, pulling out a win, in their final game there, heading into the break. But it's not what we expected with Jokic coming back. I thought, there would definitely be some rough road, but it's been enough games now to where I don't know if it's necessarily a concern, but I don't know if they're going to be able to compete if they continue to play the way they have over this last stretch. And the good news is now's the time for the adjustments. We've had a week. They just had practice today. The things are in motion to make them good again. It's just, are they going to be able to make the adjustments, and are the injuries going to be too much? I mean, they have to be in a crucial seed by the end of this regular season. That is a must for the Denver Nuggets. So what's that strategy look like at this point?
Yeah, I think you bring up some really good points. And I think the name of the game for this second half, or, second part of the season, is going to be health. Can we stay healthy? And what is our bench contribution going to look like? Because you're right, the way that they've been playing down the stretch and at the end of this first half of the season was not going to be enough to win a championship. And we got to see some changes. Gianna, what do you think is kind of important kind of going down this second half of the
season? Obviously we need to get a lot more physical defensively. That's been our struggle. We are a very offensively strong team, and I was at practice today, got the chance to speak to a few of the players and Coach Adelman, and all the players mentioned that defense physicality is like the most important thing for them right now. We heard a couple funny jokes, especially from Valanciunas. He said we need to just look in the mirror and make it happen. But I think All-Star break was huge for this team. I mean, obviously injuries, we've been riddled with them. So having a chance to kind of just reset. And we spoke with Adelman after the last game before the All-Star break. He mentioned that all of the injuries cause physical exhaustion as well. So having this time to just take a breath, reset, take a break from basketball. Hopefully they'll come back out swinging. Hopefully they'll be healthy, and hopefully we can figure out what's going on defensively, especially down the stretch in the ends of those games. We need to stop letting those other teams in.
Yeah, and I think, you hit the nail on the head there, just talking about the additional physical toll that these injuries take on the players. Not only are you a player having to recover from an injury, but then now your teammates are expected to take up that load. The points still have to get scored. People still have to be defended, and they have to be done at a certain level. So putting that expectation, that burden now more so on these other guys can lead to this exhaustion, this mental exhaustion. Then you start losing games. Then you start doubting yourself, and you kind of lose that confidence that they were playing with. And I think a big part of their win share before Jokic came back was just this confidence that they had in themselves. So I would love to see them find that again. It just seems like on both sides of the ball, just playing with some doubt. And I think that this game here tomorrow is going to be a pivotal one for them, just to get back on the right foot. Hopefully a nice, strong win. It's going to be a really telling sign to how the remaining, it's really only a third. That's the other thing is, people treat it like it's the halfway mark. It's a third. This is it.
Right.
Like the seeds are almost set at this point. So with the West being such a shootout, it's a battle from here to the end. And so it's just a big toll that's going to take on them physically, mentally, and they have to be ready for it. So hopefully they took the time for this break, got some time to, recalibrate, rethink, and come back strong, rejuvenated. Hopefully they can stay healthy, let some of these guys get back and really get back to their true form just in time for playoffs. I think that's a best case scenario for the Nuggets is everyone comes back by that time. We're firing on all cylinders, maybe have 4 or 5 games, going into the playoffs before just to work things out and have a strong end of the year.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think actually Cam Johnson said something interesting kind of along the same lines. Let's hear what he had to say really quick.
There's already a winning DNA here. There's already that championship mentality. We have a roster. The other 4 starters all have won. We have number 15 and what he brings to the table. And I just think we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent and a lot of basketball IQ. And as it continues to evolve, I think there's so many levels for us to reach. It's not like we've maxed out our team. I think there's a lot of things on the table.
Right. So he's saying, we haven't even maxed out our team yet. There's winning DNA put into this organization. I feel like, believe that even the players that came in this year understand what the goal was. And it was just to get back to that championship level, and it was to get back to that championship team that they had. When you have outside shooting, you have 15, like they said, and then you have a cast of players who work hard and they care. And I think you guys both mentioned they haven't seemed to care physicality down the stretch, right? And it's not so much the games where we're shooting really well, we're passing really well, we're moving out without the ball really well, and then Jokic is having 30, 40-point games. It's the games that are coming down to the wire that are with these higher seeded teams from the East and the West, and you're having to play 48 minutes, and you need to finish the game. And those are the times where we've seen, we haven't just finished strong enough. We haven't been as tough on some of those rebounds, and we're giving up offense rebounds and second chance shots. And then, as we know, like against the Thunder, they're gonna throw up something, get a crazy foul call and a second chance shot, and now we're down 4 with 15 left, and now we got to go out and figure out how to win this game. And instead of just grabbing that rebound and getting out, getting one possession and playing the game out like it should, we're losing those games. And so that kind of is what I think we're all a little bit frustrated by when we see these close games at the end. But I think we have the heart, and at least the veterans in the room understand the moment, and I think that we'll be able to rally around and kind of change that little bit of tone as we move towards the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think one of the concerns is when you see this dynamic where our star guys are playing 48 minutes and they're losing these close matchups, it's disappointing because that's a bit of a preview to the playoffs.
Right.
Because when you get to the playoffs, I'm not sure how many of our fans out there know, but you go from really like a 10, 11-man rotation to like a pretty strict 7 to 8-man rotation.
Right.
It is very strict down to the guys who are proven to do well. And so just to see them lose games where they lean on their guys a little bit more, like a Jamal Murray or Jokic, and then them come up short, it is a bit concerning for me. I know Aaron Gordon's out. Cam Johnson's been in and out. Now Peyton Watson's going to be, out for a pretty realistically similar time to Aaron Gordon. But those little previews do concern me. Yeah. I think it's adjustments have to be made, and Gianna hit it on the head there with the defensive end. And we keep talking about it over and over again, but I think it's the lack of adjustments,
right.
Just sticking to this zone just consistently over and over where
that zone.
You're just exposing yourself for that 3-point shot. And in a league that really focuses so heavily on the 3-point shot, I get that some nights and maybe even half the nights that teams are not going to shoot that well from 3, and that zone defense is going to work out pretty well. But on the nights it's not, they got to make the adjustment and be willing to go that extra mile and play man. I know you're going to be running a lot more in man coverage, but some of these nights are really going to call for that. So I would hope and pray that we can lean on David Alderman a little bit more, who I'd say has been shaky in the last few games. So just looking to see more of his adjustments on the fly.
Yeah. It's really interesting to me as well, because I've noticed that most of these games where it does come down to the wire seem to happen at home. I mean, the Nuggets still have the best record in the entire NBA on the road. So what I find interesting is that just shows that physical exhaustion that this team is facing. And maybe the altitude plays a factor. Like, even though it is our home, I mean, you get tired, you start to lose it down the stretch. And it's interesting that these games keep happening at home for the Nuggets.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I think because I think if you look at across pretty much all Colorado sports, the altitude should be a
Beneficial for the team,
exactly.
right?
It should be a help and a beneficial factor for each team, and it hasn't been. So I think that is very surprising. So I think you bring up a good point there. I do have a question for you too, though. Now with Peyton Watson being out for an extended amount of time, and we saw what happened when Aaron Gordon came back, and now with re-injuring, how do you guys feel about keeping them out for a longer stretch here? And when do you feel might be the right time to bring like an Aaron Gordon back?
I think that we should wait as long as we possibly can, especially AG. He continues to just re-injure that same issue, and I think having him for playoffs, I mean, yes, everything right now, the last third of the season is a dress rehearsal for May. However, once you get to May, it's the real deal. So I think that if we can hold off, and we've been winning without him, so I think it's smart to try to hold off as long as possible, throw him in a few games beforehand so chemistry rebuilds and everything, but I think we should wait.
Yeah. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. We look at the overall timeline of what to expect here with the rest of the season. Essentially, playoffs start relatively around like late April, essentially. So we're in the middle of late February at this point. So that's essentially 2 months. They've got 2 months to figure everything out. So I think there's enough time built in there for Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson to take their time, get back healthy, whatever that takes, and then have enough games to get back into form before the playoffs. Because once playoffs hit, and then just like we're seeing right now with Jokic returning into the lineup, the dynamic shifts, players move. What they just got used to doing is now not what they're doing. So it's just something that they have to be really conscious of, and ensuring that, yes, we want to give Aaron Gordon plenty of time, Peyton Watson plenty of time, which the time says that we can, but we also really need to make sure that we've got some time to play around with playoff lineups, because it's going to play a pivotal role here come April. And by April, we need everybody in that roster playing. That's a crucial checkpoint for the Nuggets this season.
I agree. I think because you made a good point earlier, the rotation is going to get down to around 8 people. It's not going to be a 10-person and whoever has the hot hand, maybe, like, that's not happening. It's got to be a pretty strict rotation, and you're going to have your best players out there as much as possible and as long as possible. And so I do think keeping particularly Aaron Gordon out as long as you can, because he is going to be a focal point in that rotation. I think Peyton Watson will have games and then other games where he might not be playing as much, but he'll still be in that rotation. But I think Aaron Gordon is going to be a starter, and he's going to be playing a lot of minutes. And so to make sure that he is back up to speed in physical fitness and being able to run and be out there full speed, right? I think that's also a thing you got to think about. You can't just bring him back first round in the playoffs and expect him to be full speed, and then you drop a game and you're like, okay, there's no holds bar here when it gets to the playoffs. And so I think you got to think about that. But I do think holding him out for as long as possible, because you're going to need him. You're going to need him in the playoffs, particularly how the West is built. His size, his athletic ability, his shot making, and his versatility throughout the game is going to be needed deep into the playoffs if you're going to make a deep playoff run. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how long we can hold him out for. But what I am interested to see also is what happens if we start losing some games here. Like, because I think that's going to push the urgency to bring him back quicker. I think that's going to end up kind of pushing our options a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the goal at the end of the day is to accomplish the regular season and do well, theoretically. I know the Thunder, theoretically have a top spot, the number 1 seed sewn up, but they're not that far away, and there's still enough games to make up that gap. And with the way the Thunder have been playing lately, especially, that's something that could happen. And with Shea still being sidelined for now, the opportunity is there. So the Nuggets need to capitalize that and start gaining plus side momentum towards them. And, you mentioned Peyton Watson specifically, and I would really like to see when he does come back that they work with him in the starting lineup versus a Cam Johnson. Peyton Watson works really well with that starting unit, And then he has that confidence. He's been playing well. He's proven to be a good scorer this year, along with a defender as well. Just quality on both ends. So somebody like that is super valuable. Unless I see some serious games from Cam Johnson, and I think he has been playing better, I just still would rather have Peyton Watson start and then give Cam Johnson the easier assignment to come off the bench and create some of his own playmaking, essentially. I mean, I don't hate Watson doing that either, but I think in this role, in this dynamic, just utilizing Watson on the offensive end and ensuring that he can get into that starting rotation, because as you know, it's just really crucial to be in that starting spot when you're trying to get your shot going and you're trying to get things in your momentum. And I think Peyton Watson has performed better when he's able to do that in that starting lineup. So if that means Cam Johnson coming off the bench, I think it's worth it, because Cam would likely still score pretty similar to what he has in the past, which is right around that 10 to 13 point range. I think he's going to be closer to that 15 to 20 range as we end the season, but I'd rather see him in that 6-man role along with Tim Hardaway. That's a good duo in my opinion.
I'd agree. I think that's actually a really good duo now that you say it and you put it that way, because then you have a lot of 3-point shooting. You have the size still with Valanciunas in that second unit. We just got to figure out what that guard play looks like, coming in off the bench. But I think that's a dangerous 2-3 combo with Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson in that second unit. It keeps a lot of scoring. Obviously, they both like to shoot the ball quite a bit, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of play a little bit more inside of their game. So actually, I think that's a really good idea. How do you think about changing the starting lineup?
Yeah, I know we've brought it up a couple of times after P. Watt's been blowing us all away. I like Peyton Watson. I think he deserves to be a starter, whether it be Cameron Johnson, whether it be Christian Brown. After CB's past couple of games, though, I don't know. My confidence in him has gone up a bit, but I would agree. I would like to see Peyton Watson in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and Christian Brown, big shout out to Christian Brown, man. I don't know where this narrative came from where he's suddenly not worth his contract. He is absolutely worth the contract that we signed him to. I've seen this all over the place that people are saying that we wasted our signing and signed CB instead of Peyton Watson. Well, you guys don't remember how the scenario was. Peyton Watson did not show the same promise that he has developed, and it's amazing and beautiful to watch. But Christian Brown had already been a pretty proven player throughout, and averaged a great stat line last year at 15.6 points per game, 5-5. I mean, you can't really ask more from somebody in that starting unit who's already playing alongside such high-level scorers. So for Christian Brown to get all this weird, I don't even know, just this disdain over his contract because he's been injured, it's not his fault. And I'm really sick of seeing fans try to put that blame on him. So it's good to see Christian Brown performing well to help subside some of those rumors that are circling the powers that be in the social media realm. But very disappointing to see from some Nuggets fans. I really did not appreciate that. Just shows lack of insight from our team. The Nuggets are such a good core group of people, and Christian Brown's a part of that, and Peyton Watson's a part of that too. So it's about how we can just utilize them both together and not which one is better than the other at this point, in my opinion.
Well, and how cool to have that core group all be the starting lineup. I mean, because that would be all players that were there for the championship, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
I mean,
Jamal. Yeah, that is everybody in the AG. Yeah,
that would be pretty cool. The chemistry that they all already have with each other, the amount of time they've spent together.
Watson and
Could
Christian
be
Brown were
special.
drafted in the same draft class too. That's another thing that's pretty
Exactly.
amazing. What a good draft. That was a solid draft for the Nuggets.
It was a solid draft. There was a GM that did good that year. But yes, I believe that I believe that that camaraderie, I think, does play into that locker room quite a bit. That knowing like they've been there and done it. We do have the pieces in here, and then the pieces that we lost, we've replaced and upgraded. And so I think that there is that underlying belief. And I think that they will have some of that. Let's get our act together. Let's get back focused. Let's get back to winning games. And the fact that this is them underperforming is quite scary, I think, for the Western Conference and I believe the rest of the league, because you're looking at a Nuggets team that goes, oh, we can be that much better, right? And if that's the case, sky's the limit, I think. So I think we're looking forward to a really, really awesome last 27 games. Do you guys have any predictions on what our record might look like at the end of these 27 games?
I'm going to say we're going to win around 19 of them. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
19 out of 27. That's not bad.
19 out of 27 is very good.
Yeah, I was actually going to say pretty much the same thing.
I
was gonna
felt
say,
the energy in there today. They were excited to be back.
Yeah, you love to see that. And the break, I think the mental break, just
Huge for
outside
this
of the
team.
physical break, just a nice,
Yep.
just breath of just there's not
Yeah.
bombardment of like NBA news and just all this stuff. And I think that they're going to go 20-7. Actually, so pretty
Oh,
close, Gianna. I appreciated that prediction.
Wow. We got
Yeah.
19-8, 20-7.
I mean, that pace is just above their typical at about 68% win percentage.
That's
so
true.
that's about right around where they're at. So they just have to up that a little bit more and execute more at about an 80% clip. So I think it's possible for them, 100%. They've got the talent. People are getting healthy. We're still missing some key guys, so that's where those losses will come into play. But by the time, like I said, that they get to that last month of April, everybody should be coming back, and they should have some time to figure things out. And I'm excited, though. I'm excited for how this season's going to end. And, one thing that I have to bring up is we brought this up last week, but the 40-20 rule, it's
Yes.
something they really have to go against because it's a very low percentage. It's about 15% of teams
Wow.
who have not
That's
met
it?
that criteria of won the championship.
15.
Just based on that, 20 losses before 40 wins, 15% of champions have done that. And then still won the championship.
And still won, yeah.
Yeah. So they were at 34-20. So 6 games off of that. So out of roughly 60 games, 10%.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big margin.
That is actually.
So, I'm curious to see how it's going to look. We keep talking about the injuries, but at what point do they just have to deal with it?
I mean, at this point, you have to just do it.
I mean, like, they've got to just start winning games anyway.
Like, you can't start dropping games, particularly if you're only going to drop 7 of them. So you got to start. You have to start right out the bat. Like, you can't take this week for granted. I do like that you get a little bit of practice, right? I think that that is important because you get to a point in the season where you're on the road, you're coming home, you get home late, you got a game the next night. Like, you're not practicing as a team. You're not running through sets. You're not practicing your zone rotations, which seems to be burning the Nuggets. The zone rotations are burning the Nuggets. But Adelman's, I think, getting better at least at calling timeouts.
Yeah, I've
stopping
seen some
the bleeding,
improvement of that.
which I know you were hard on him earlier for that. I think that he's getting better.
Yeah,
I won't say good.
Yeah, and those
I
are
think
one
he's
of
getting
those
better.
things that's like he should know that.
He should.
Like that, I shouldn't know that, and he not know that.
He knows,
and he does know.
knows.
It's different when you're out on the floor. Like, decision making is totally different, and especially when you have that relationship with the team and knowing how they like to play. But yeah, I'm like, okay, but when you're going on a 15-0 run, like, maybe they're not figuring it out too good, and we need to talk about it. But there's a lot that goes into that, and I'm not going to hold it too hard against him, but it definitely affected my thoughts on Coach of the Year, so to speak, for Adelman. I'm like, well,
That's fair.
Maybe not this year.
We'll see, though.
We'll see. We got
if
some
they
time.
end up going 20-7, if they end up going 20-7 or 19-8, with all this time missed from star players, and you're still going into the second half of the season missing a star player, right? I think his name is still up there for Coach of the Year. If
he's
he
impressed me. I've liked what he's done. I mean, he's been given a team that everyone was looking forward to watching, and they completely became a broken Nuggets team, and they're in third. I think he's doing great.
Yeah, I still, I'm not gonna count him out yet.
Yeah, no, I can agree with
that.
that. There's definitely a lot of hardship and adversity that he's overcome, and I think it's going to all be about kind of the narrative to close the season, right? Like, a lot of times, especially in the modern NBA with these postseason awards, they just lean so heavily on the narrative, and it's not even the full season narrative as much as it is what was the last narrative. Now, if you've been talking about a particular person all year, that could be different.
True.
But what if the narrative changes and is like, well, it's definitely this guy over this guy, even if the other guy's been performing all year. So it's one of those interesting things, and hopefully we'll be able to play into that not only as a team, but for Coach Adelman, and just all those accolades. I'm interested to see how the Nuggets will finish this year. And Gianna, you mentioned kind of the atmosphere in practice today. Now, this was their only practice since the All-Star break essentially.
I
So-
believe they did practice yesterday, and then today was a light practice.
Oh, okay. So we gotten a couple of them.
mhm.
Good.
So they've gotten in there. They're putting in the work. It sounded like everyone was really excited to be back. Sounded like All-Star, like I've already mentioned, was huge for rest and recovery. And I know a couple of players went on trips together, so got a little camaraderie outside of
Nice.
being in Ball Arena. So I think it was good for them. They're excited and ready.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent. I'm excited
Well-
to hear that, and the Nuggets have always had such a really good locker room dynamic.
Mhm.
Just being able to be around it in those somewhat more intimate moments like practice, the locker room after a game, even the tunnel right after a game, you can really kind of feel that team atmosphere. And the Nuggets have always done a really good job of maintaining that team camaraderie. And I've
Mhm.
really appreciated that about them, because it's so easy for these teams when they go on these losing streaks or have a bad game or an off game to point fingers and blame somebody else. And, oh, these guys don't really, like each other as much. And they just don't have that. Everyone just seems to get along so well. I wouldn't be able to tell who's a better friend than another guy. They're all just seem to be so close, even though there's so many new faces in that locker room. So
Mhm.
No,
just a
you're right.
unique dynamic. So I'm excited for that energy to transfer over into the remainder of this regular season. But speaking of All-Star, I was
Yes.
at All-Star weekend. I
Yes,
guess we
let's
got to
get
switch
into-
things
yeah.
up and talk some hardwood headlines
Yeah,
here.
let's get into your All-Star, because I'm curious. I have some thoughts and some feelings as well, but I want to hear it, straight from the horse's mouth. You were there. Give it to us.
Yeah, All-Star 2026. For those of you who don't know, I have been to other All-Star weekends. I've gone the last 3 years now. So I've done a few of these at this point. But it was, it's always entertaining. I will say that it's definitely always entertaining. And, there's always plenty to do. But it just, this year just seemed less fan focused. Just didn't have that same kind of nostalgia feel where you're really going to experience things and be a part of the NBA. That's what I always really appreciated about All-Star Weekend, is you just got this more kind of cool, condensed, everything's all together type atmosphere where you get to experience the future of what the NBA can look like, glimpses into what technology companies are working on, just all kinds of really cool insight that fans like myself really appreciate. And they just felt like they were lacking that this year. I mean, it was definitely still there. It was just way less of that kind of thing. And it just felt way more focused on purchasing. Just everything was about the dollar sign. And you really felt that this season. And so really, it was disappointing, I would say, but it was still a fun atmosphere. I had a great time in LA. It was still a really fun experience. And I really do enjoy All-Star Weekend quite a bit. Intuit Dome is insane. I got to experience the Intuit Dome for the first time. And
Yeah, it does look cool.
it feels like
Mhm.
another universe just with how insane the stadium is. They just, it's so innovative. And they even have, I think one of my favorite things that you could do is built into the armrest were little buttons that you could press to vote on certain things that would come up on the
Oh,
screen.
that's cool.
So they do like, who was
Oh.
the best dancer from the timeout thing that we just
Huh.
did? And it'd be like, okay, yellow was the best. And then it'll show on your chair too. So you can see what everyone was like voting for, and you can see the whole stadium. So they had a lot of really cool stuff like this. And that screen, oh my gosh,
the Halo
screen,
screen.
the Halo screen is
Yeah.
crazy. It is really crazy in person. Like, I was sitting way up in the rafters because I refuse to pay thousands of dollars to sit closer in an empty stadium. But that screen was incredible. It made you feel super involved in what was going on. And if you missed something, replays are showing, stats are showing. Like, there's just so much information up there, and then you still get a really good view of the court. So the design was really well done.
Awesome.
The only thing I don't like though is like the cashless system where you're
It's only
so
card?
so only card, but in a weirder way. So you sign up with the Intuit Dome app
Huh.
that like scan your face, and then you put your card info in the app, and then you just go around and like buy stuff. And so
because it just scans your face the whole
so you just walk
time,
into a
when you're in
store
the stadium.
and you like
Technology is
yeah,
getting
and then you
crazy.
walk out with stuff, and it just automatically charges.
Like no
you.
one,
That
no
makes
one's
me
like, hey,
nervous.
Yeah.
did you find everything you need? You're
There's,
just-
there's like an attendant, but they don't like do the transactions. So that was really weird. That was a
That
really weird
is
part of
weird.
it. And I also didn't really like it because everything, oh my gosh. You want to talk about Ball Arena prices? Let me introduce you to the Intuit Dome prices because they are exponentially higher. Like everything was $20.
like that, everything's $20.
Everything was $20 at least. And I'm talking like I got a pizza because I was just hungry, and it was like a little. Like probably one of the lowest quality pieces of pizza I've ever eaten. And it was just like clearly made from a big tray of pizza, and it's just been cut into this corner. And it was no joke. It was $20
for just a slice.
for a slice of like
Okay.
really
Huh.
bad pizza. And I'm like, it'd be
My
different if
oven
it
makes
was
these
good.
better.
Yeah.
No joke. Like
If it was like,
frozen
oh, this is the
pizza.
best pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I
this
could
is,
get
oh
I
my
could get
gosh.
behind it because they did have some popcorn. They had like this toffee popcorn, like almost like caramel, but it was just different. But it was that was really good. But other than that, everything else was just kind of like really overpriced. It felt like it was kind of crazy.
That's
So,
disappointing.
from your opinion, when you mentioned that it felt less fan forward and fan based, personally, I was looking for clips on social media and I had to go out and search for them. Like, I saw nothing in my algorithm about the NBA All Star, which majority of my algorithm is the NBA. So,
Yeah.
I was very shocked about all of that. Do you think that that was more of, I mean, I saw a few videos that there weren't many fans in attendance. Do you think it was more that people were just not interested in taking videos and posting content, or you think it was more of a strict rules thing?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because the NBA actually really focused on bringing out creators this year.
Mhm.
They've been really expanding their creator program where it's like influencers. But one thing I particularly noticed is a lot of the influencers really aren't associated directly with basketball. Most of them are, but like some of the bigger ones, like in the celebrity game, they're just not really involved in basketball. So I think that had a bit to do with it. And then just the overall fan turnout felt really low, I would
Mhm.
say as well. So you'll still get some of that raw content from somebody like myself or, like the Denver Fools, who were our guests last week.
Yeah.
They were out there actually as well. So they did a good job of
They
covering
seem like
some
they
stuff.
did more than like the NBA team.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it felt like. I mean, and they just really didn't have a lot going on. I mean, that's
Right.
at the end of the day, that's what it felt like. And they had a lot of like fan activations and like some random stuff, but usually it was independent brands and it was all branding. It was very promo facing.
Mhm.
I will say one of the cooler activations I
Hmm.
did that was more fan forward. Big shout out to Puma. Puma actually had me out. I know some people over there and they got me over there to do like this creator activation. And it was this whole like parking lot that they had decked out. And then they had the whole like Fast and Furious, the real cars from the Fast and Furious.
Oh.
And I know that because I did the studio tour at Universal the day before. And they
Okay.
were like, all our cars from Fast and Furious are gone. And I'm like, where the hell are they? And then I'm at All Star. I'm like, oh, they're right here. They're literally right here. So that was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that. And then we also did an activation at that same thing with Ralph Sampson.
Wow.
Big shout out Ralph Sampson.
Big Ralph Sampson.
Yeah, Ralph Sampson. Basically, for
small
those
guy.
of you who don't know, he was Wemby before Wemby came out.
Yeah.
He was just kind of plagued with injuries and never really could see his full-fledged potential, but he was very good at basketball. And Mac McClung came out there, 3-time junk champion.
I'm glad you said something about Mac McClung, by the way, because I wanted to talk about him a little bit. I think I mentioned to you before the show. I don't know what the problem is with All-Star. Actually, I do have a couple of theories though, but for All-Star Saturday night, it's just it just seems so,
it's like phoned in.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
phoned in. Like it seems lackluster. No one really wants to be there, and they need to hype it up. And the dunk contest is just sad. It's just sad right now, and I think that we can do something about it. And I think I'm glad that you talked about Mac McClung because I think that he needs to just be in it. He just needs to be in it because he cares, right? Like these other guys are doing dunks that we see him. I've seen Jackson like
In game.
Jackson Hayes. Yeah, Jackson Hayes does better dunks in game than he does in the dunk contest.
He tried to do that same dunk.
He tried.
He couldn't do it.
I don't know what
he did in the game,
Yeah.
but he couldn't do it in the dunk contest.
And he couldn't do it in the dunk contest. So I happened to go ahead and grab some Mac McClung highlights of what he was planning
These are
on
so
doing.
cool. I wish this is what I would have seen.
And we're getting a little.
See, you gotta love Mac because even though he wasn't in the dunk contest, he's like,
still
here's what I
filmed.
have prepared anyway, just in case
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to the dunk contest. This is actually a really interesting move. So an influencer created this one. He did a double, but it's called a scorpion dunk.
Yeah,
Where you flip your arms all the way back.
This one
And then the toe tap.
and the toe tap.
That's crazy. See, like this is what the dunk contest is about, like showing the limits of athleticism and creativity, all kind of combining the two and just creating something special. And Mac was really good at that. All the big dunk contest legends, Aaron Gordon specifically, very innovative.
Yeah,
This is crazy. Look,
this
his
is
head
crazy.
is touching the backboard,
Catches it
and
between
then the
his
guy
legs.
tosses it. Like, I would lose my mind if I saw that in person. Like, in full speed motion in person, those all four of those dunks
It would have been
crazy.
so cool. It would have been so cool to see something like that and to see a guy who actually cares about the dunk
Who just
contest.
puts the work in.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the problem. And this year, they had a bunch of lower tier guys, Jackson Hayes being the biggest name on that roster.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, that's fine. But
it's okay.
These are guys who, I don't want to necessarily be mean and say they have the time,
Mm-hmm.
but like, you're called up to go to the dunk contest. All eyes are on you. All the NBA fans are watching this. You know, I don't care how many people say they aren't into the dunk contest, whatever. Tons of people watch the dunk contest every single year, or they're seeing the clips on social media. This is your shot. If you are somebody who's not a big name,
this is your shot.
Right.
Why not put some more effort? I mean, and I don't mean to be rude to these guys, but like, these guys are professional basketball players, and to see what they put out there outside of maybe one or two dunks, like, maybe it was pretty disappointing.
Even the one that won, I'm like, okay, how many times we've seen you throw off the backboard, do a windmill? We've seen, like, that doesn't.
Can we do like
I can do that.
I mean, I used to be able to, at least. I could try. I might even try. I
think we should put it to the test.
We need to like clip in DC just not doing it.
Yeah, I know I could get one off the backboard.
I
can get one off the backboard, but the 360, okay, might not still. But I just remember when it was like so revered. We even put it. They had it in like the NBA live games. Like it was like a big deal to be a part of the dunk contest and like all these other things. And I just felt like Saturday night was just like, it gets hyped, and then you watch it, and the guys that are participating aren't as hyped as the fans want it to be. And so I'm just like, bring a guy like Mac McClung back and just let him go in. My second thing is, I think with All-Star Weekend, there is an issue about, I think what you'd say is like access, because everyone has a lot more access to these players now, right? Like a lot of people have their own podcast or their own show or their own kind of outlet that they're doing, and so we see them more often than we would on another, like, you know, maybe 10 years ago when it wasn't as popular to see. So then you get to see these matchups, and you get to see these people kind of inside a different element than you're used to seeing them as much as you would as an All-Star Weekend. And so I think just now, just because of media and social media, you see everyone all the time now. So it's not as special when you're like, oh, this guy's got a crazy outfit on, or oh, this guy's got a new shoe coming out, or oh, he said something ridiculous, right? Like, now we're like, okay, because we see them a lot and we have access to people a lot more. So I think that kind of, I don't want to say dims it, but it doesn't make it as crazy as an event, I think, for people to see the All-Stars, right? Because it's like we see them on their show every week, right? Or whatever it may be. So I think that does change it a little bit, if you will. It's just that we have more access to everyone now.
Yeah, they are a lot more accessible, especially in the NBA compared to other sports, I feel like.
Right.
Like baseball, for example, not many players are out doing media things and having podcasts and whatnot like they are in the NBA. What I thought was really cool was the USA versus the world.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I thought that put a little more incentive into some of these players to maybe put a little more effort into the game. I unfortunately saw a lot of people were complaining about Jokic's effort, which, I mean, we're kind of used to that for All-Star out of him. But I thought that the USA versus the world was a good change, and that was cool. I'm curious your guys' opinions.
Yeah, I thought that was actually the highlight of All-Star Weekend, although there was no one there to watch it. But I honestly thought that was the highlight. I thought the way that they had the teams set up and the way that they actually played hard, like they looked like they wanted to compete and they wanted to win. We had 2 buzzer beaters. That I don't know the last time we had a buzzer beater in the NBA All-Star game that mattered. And there was defense. I thought that was great. I like how they set it up. The only thing I would have changed was maybe mixing up the Stars and the Stripes teams a little bit more, because you had an aged team versus a very young team. And I thought when you got to the last game, it was clear that the age team was a little bit gassed.
Well, yeah, and they had
And they
the
had to play
young
back
guys
to
had a
back.
break,
Yeah,
right?
the young guys. Yeah, I was about to say they gave the young guys the
You're
break.
already younger. Let's let you have a break.
Yeah, they should have, I think, switched the playing.
Kawhi
Do
Leonard
we think
schedule
that
around.
that was
36.
purposeful
That was crazy.
to build excitement about the younger guys and the new stars coming into the
Maybe
NBA?
I
though?
didn't think about it that way. Actually,
That's how I took it. I was like,
Ooh.
oh, PR's doing their thing.
Yeah, well, and those older stars too really carry a lot of that viewership. Just the
Mhm.
legends, are really, really heavy with view. So I imagine that had a lot to do with it being like not necessarily the beginning, but kind of the middle when everyone's really starting to tune in, and then the
Mhm.
end when if
Mhm.
anyone is watching, they're watching.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was an interesting dynamic. I liked it. I think it's something that they can look to continue. The only thing I feel like it's strange is just how to work out who gets to become an all-star. And I was cool with it because they ended
Yeah.
up giving out kind of more all-stars than I felt like they usually do, personally to me.
yeah,
Definitely felt like it was more than they usually nod for that, but it allowed for some guys like Jamal Murray to get in. I think De'Aaron Fox was kind of questionable to see him go in over MPJ. That was kind of strange.
yeah.
I'm sure it still had an East-West component, but at the end of the day, I think MPJ just got straight up snubbed out of the All-Stars. I think that was kind of
Yeah,
disrespectful for somebody like De'Aaron Fox to then get the nod after
Right.
MPJ's been playing the way he's been playing all
Right.
season. It was pretty questionable in my opinion. So that was a little disappointing, but I could see this format existing for at least next year. I think All-Star Saturday needs a tweak. That star shoot around thing that they did in
the shooting
between,
stars.
that was weird. Then they also really screwed up by making it in the middle of the day. That was weird.
Yeah, it
even
started
for
at
me.
like 2 in the afternoon.
I'm there. I did realize a few days beforehand, but I'm thinking like, oh, we'll go there at 6 o'clock. That's when it starts. It starts at 6 every year. That's kind of when they start doing things. And I look at my ticket, it's like 2 o'clock. I'm like, cool. Well, now we can't, all the activations start at 11. So we can't really,
Can't.
like, we can go do like 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah.
And things are spread out, So it's just a very interesting move from them for that. And I think that really, I can't imagine that playing well for viewership. Obviously, the audience, for those of you who follow me, the audience was empty. I mean, there was nobody there for All-Star Saturday. So again, and thankfully players are talking about it, but a 1v1 tournament. We need a 1v1 tournament. That is a must at this point. Saturday, replace it with whatever the heck that shooting stars thing was. I mean, it was kind of entertaining, but I called the winner for that, by the way.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
the
was
New
like,
York
the Knicks
team.
are going to win. Yeah,
Yeah.
down in Houston.
Yeah,
And they did.
and they did.
So, like, cool. We saw that coming. And then I think we also talked about Damian Lillard.
We
it being
did.
rigged for Damian Lillard.
we did.
and it
I did.
was.
I said I think he might come back and win it again.
Yeah. So, and he also did not compete last year. I looked that up.
Oh, he didn't compete.
No, he
last
did
year.
not compete last year. So it even made it even weirder.
To bring him back.
Yeah, it's
over
like-
a year that he missed. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
I
weird.
don't
I,
really
thought
get
he
it.
was at least the 2024. I guess he was a 24 champion, not 25.
Yeah,
champion,
23,
so,
24, I think.
yeah,
But yeah, either way, just an odd weekend that needs some work, and they need to just pull back the consumerism, man. They got to make these tickets affordable. If they're not selling tickets, why the heck is the stadium empty?
yeah,
Lower the ticket prices. Like,
yeah,
they need to make it more about the fans, and it has never been more evident than it was this past weekend that they are just not in touch with what their actual fans want. They're just basically like leaning on brands to do promos and activations and sell products. And as a fan, it just really tuned me out. It
Yeah.
just wasn't.
Mhm.
I really didn't like that part of it. It's one thing to like go and buy stuff, but for it to be kind of the focus of the weekend really kind of ruins it.
yeah. That's very interesting, and that does kind of suck. I had a wild idea. This was just me over the weekend watching. This was a wild idea. Tell me if I'm just gone too crazy. I say we push back the Pro Bowl. Push it back because no one's watching the Pro Bowl anyways, right?
For
Just push-
NFL.
for NFL, and just make it a huge All-Star week with NBA and NFL that goes into All-Star weekend, and let them play some like games together. Whether it's a little bit of flag or let the like switch the sports. Have the NFL guys go out there and try to do the shooting stars, and see a team to do the shooting stars maybe versus an NBA team that's put together, and vice versa, the flag football game. I don't know. Like, I think make it a big All-Star and a big All-Star weekend, and like kind of mix it up, because I think people will tune into that.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun like one-off scenario.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it's only
see
a
that
couple
as like,
weeks.
yeah, I wouldn't see that as like a consistent thing, you know, because it affects too much of like the history behind All-Star, if that makes sense. Like Pro Bowl doesn't carry as much as like All-Star Game MVP does for NBA,
True.
and like there's some certain things like the dunk
And
contest.
maybe this is just Saturday night. you know?
yeah, sure, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think the NFL would never do it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think especially because I don't know how much NFL players love NBA. Like, you know,
Oh,
I
they
don't know
think
how
that they are good at basketball.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
think they
much
think
that
they're good.
those two like would mix
There's some
and
crossover,
overlap.
I think, but it's like wide receivers and quarterbacks and
Yeah.
running backs, and then no one else is physically capable of playing basketball.
I'd be surprised. I bet there's some linemen out there that
that can hoop.
yeah, like these are athletic guys.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are peak
they're more
athletes.
athletic than they
For sure.
they might look by their size. But
Yeah.
I'd be surprised because I think there's a lot of times. I think Miles Garrett is one of them.
Well, yeah.
But he's really big into basketball, and he's like
He's
I
also
could play.
just really big.
He's but I would like, I don't know, I could see him. I'd like to see him go out there and just like maybe throw him as an extra contestant out there as a 3-point shooter or something like that.
that would be fun.
Just to see.
I think my thing
Also-
is
Oh, sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
feel like the players would never go for it because, I mean, imagine you win a Super Bowl and then 2 weeks later you have to be back.
Well, no, see, this would just be for the Pro Bowl guys who aren't playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So this is just
Interesting.
for the all stars of each that
Yeah.
they make it. You get your
Yeah.
as a
You're done
fan, I
already.
would love to see at least once that happens, but from a realistic perspective, the NFL has no shortage of viewership, and I
No,
think that
they'll
they
be
are
fine.
not interested in sharing that.
no, that's
Like
fair.
that's basically like them being like, "Hey, NBA, here you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's some scraps." for
Although I
you."
will say it was, I think it was 8 million views, the most watched NBA All Star weekend or NBA All Star game, just the game.
this one,
This one,
This last one.
this last one,
interesting.
view wise, not
Oh, yeah.
not in the stands.
Yeah, definitely not in the
just
stands.
views. So
They
I
definitely
thought that
went
was
on there.
interesting that they did have a high viewership this year. Actually, surprising.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Um,
It was really interesting too. Like at the stadium, like one thing that really stuck out to me is like more people had creds than people who were just there.
so there's more people down on the
Like,
court.
yeah, no,
than there were in
just
the
in
stands.
general, because like they had like the the outlet stuff up in the third floor
Right.
section, the top section, whatever you call it, and then they're all just walking around. But I would go out and I'm just seeing like probably like five people to one without creds. Like it was
Wow.
crazy. Like actually at the event. So I'm
Sounds
sure
like
a lot
LA.
of people are there for coverage, but that just gives you some insight as to how
Not many
little
fans to just be.
yeah, just
fan,
not a lot of
right.
fans. Like everyone's just kind of like passing the information
That's
along
weird.
for it to be viewed digitally, which I think is likely what we saw. It's just a lot of digital consumption.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. They should, if I would have like been one of the people there in charge of All Star Weekend, and I'm looking up and the stands are like empty, and it's like
Empty.
the second game, I'm like, go outside and just start handing tickets out. Just go get people into the stadium.
Mhm.
Like it's All Star Weekend, Like at least I want if I'm gonna go to the empty stadium and like you're saying, and I got $20 concessions on every price of food, at least I want people in there. Right?
and-
Like at least come. I would start being
Right.
like, hey, let's go get people in. It's like halfway through the second game. No one's coming.
Well, and even just for the NBA's reputation, you don't really want an empty stadium.
Right,
Like
right.
that's kind of embarrassing when you're watching it and you look up and there's no one there.
Right.
I don't know.
Steve Ballmer can pay enough to get people give
Yeah.
some free tickets out. you
Yeah.
know?
Overall, weird weekend. Hopefully the NBA will take it more seriously. I don't want it to go the other route where they just are like, well, we just won't do it, or it just won't
No,
be that
I
big
want
a deal.
them to
I
do
want
it.
them to really emphasize it because it's so much fun. Like me as an NBA fan, a longtime NBA fan, the All-Star game was something I always really look forward to. And so just to see them put more of that passion and the effort and more focus on actual
On
fans.
the fans. Make
I
it
think-
fan centric.
Make it fan centric. Like LA should have been the epitome of that. And it just was kind of the worst All-Star game I've been to, if I'm being honest. So ideally, I'd love to see some changes be made and them, again, just take it seriously. Like NBA fans all over social media right now are talking about just the overall, it just wasn't
Just-
great.
yeah,
and
just
they
this
just need to
moment.
learn that. They need to we just need to see these guys actually care more about their literal fans of the sport than whatever the heck they're focusing on right now. Because it's hard to see what the direction is from a marketing standpoint for them at this point.
Yeah, I agree. We got to do something about it. We got to do something about the All-Star game. Send in your opinions. We'd like to see them. But speaking of the All-Star Weekend, I always think that the All-Star Weekend is about some crazy outfits.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure. Yeah, good
So
fashion.
let's
Show
head
up
to
and
our tunnel
show
talk
out.
and check out some outfits. Although, like you saying, being there was a little disappointing. I kind of felt like the outfits weren't as crazy as I was expecting.
Yeah, a little more runway feel, huh?
There was.
Well, Gianna's got a good fit on right now.
Gianna's
I have
got
to
a
say,
good fit on.
Digging
She's
the
ready
leather.
for the.
It's a good-
she's
it's a
ready
good
for
look.
the runway.
Oh
the
yeah.
colors match really well too.
Thanks.
It's
I tried pretty hard.
it's a good ensemble.
That's good. And hey, check out this hat. Ron brought this hat back for me.
Little souvenir.
Little souvenir, little
Fun.
All-Star. Check me out. Catch me outside. How about that? Now let's get into these league fits. Our first, we got Cade Cunningham, and these are all ones I actually really like. So I will say these are ones I like.
So we picked good ones.
So we picked good ones.
Theoretically.
Let's get to Cade. See if we can make ourselves a little bit bigger. There we go.
All right.
So this denim thing was a big thing this year. I know
Denim is big
The
all over
matching
right
sets.
now.
it is a big thing. Matching sets. I kind of wish there was a shirt underneath it, like a regular shirt, maybe a dress shirt or something. But other than that, I kind of like this faded gray fit. I thought it went pretty nice. What do you guys think?
I like the outfit, but I agree with what you're saying for All-Star. It seems a little boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely understated. This is like a good just like going out to like a quick lunch kind
Or
of
just
fit.
a regular
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
like even a regular game is kind of undertoned. I like that he's got more of like a suitcase there.
Yeah, it's a
It's
suitcase.
like a trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Which
I don't know.
I kinda
Could be
dig that.
could be a shoe thing.
Big. Yeah, I was thinking it was a shoe thing because it's kind of big for a briefcase.
Yeah.
Which it also just like, what do you have in there? But yeah,
What's
this
in
is
the
all
box?
right. This isn't bad.
It's
Like,
all
good,
right, right?
good color match, like the
Mhm.
jeans and the jean jacket. I will
It's
say
good.
jeans are super in right now because I was at a college town over this past weekend where I used to go to school at UCSB, and
Hey, let's go.
yeah, they
out
everyone
Gauchos.
wearing freaking jean jackets, jeans and
Oh,
light
yeah,
blue. Oh my
it's-
gosh, it was like a
That's the
plague.
Cali style
It's
right
in.
now.
And
Oh,
that's the
it's-
Colorado
super
style,
in
too.
everywhere.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
been pretty.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't. Every
Yeah.
other group of people had 3 or 4 people wearing just like denim jackets, and
Mhm.
it was crazy. It's very clear
Wow.
that it's a new.
The men are hopping on to the women trends once again. It's become a thing.
You guys are leading the way, and the men are like,
we
yeah, I like that.
started the jean jackets.
No big deal.
No big deal. Well, keeping in the jean era, I like this guy's Igor. He's part of the Rising
Igor, yeah,
Stars.
Nets, yeah.
Yeah, I did actually like the Rising Stars format too.
Yeah, it
With
was alright.
the 4 teams, they look like they were playing. And dude, we'll talk about VJ Edgecombe, but my goodness,
Yeah, he's a
he's
beast.
gonna be a star. Here's another bag though, another white bag, and another denim outfit. I see how much more it looks better
Put
with this
together.
with the tie
Mhm.
and everything's kind of put together. I really liked it. I really liked this one. I like the color. I kind of wish I had this one actually. Not gonna lie.
Ask him where he bought it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask him where he bought it. But what do you guys think?
I like it. I've never really been like a fan of the chain on the pant.
Interesting.
Thing.
The
The
chain
wallet
wallet.
chain.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I never really
So you don't
have.
get pickpocketed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah,
If someone
think
tries
so.
to pickpocket him.
But
where
I've
he's at.
never been a fan of that. I feel like they do that a lot in the NBA.
It's
I do
definitely
like.
coming back right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 90s style.
Yeah, I do like the rest of it. I do like the bag. I think that the bags are getting. I like that that's just a tote. He's bringing whatever he needs to bring, and he's not trying to go. I don't like the male bag trend thing, so I like the plain tote.
You like the Trader Joe's bag?
Yeah.
Okay. The plain tote.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Definitely,
go.
definitely gives me like
you guys heard
grocery
it here
shopping
first.
vibes.
Plain tote is the way to go for guys. All right? Plain tote.
Yeah, and then the Browns match really well. I mean, definitely nailed the color, and I like the tie because it
Came
does
through. Yeah.
gets that same fade in there. I'd say tuck it in, but from a fashion perspective, obviously this is certainly a look. So I'll let it slide. I'm with you, Gianna. The chain wallet thing is like, what?
Yeah, why
what
is
is this
that-
about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just to add a little flair? You
I
know,
think
add a
so.
little
Get
bling?
some bling.
That's kind of lame. I don't
don't
know.
like
Yeah,
it.
If you're
yeah,
kind
it
of
doesn't
pushing
work.
it,
If you're
Like-
gonna do a bling, then like bling it out. Like put a big bling chain on there.
Right.
At least,
might as
you know?
well have a freaking pocket watch at that point.
I
You
mean,
might as well.
everyone wears
Ooh.
the big diamond
Ooh.
chains
Pocket
anyway. I
watches are
think that's
in.
enough
Pocket
bling.
watches are.
Yeah, the diamond chains are like kind of going
Some
away.
of
it
them
seems
are
like.
getting crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird.
There's
it's a
some
weird
wild ones.
interest thing.
It is.
I never understood like let's spend $100,000 on something. that
Yeah.
we just
I'm
wear.
gonna get this house on my necklace.
Yeah. It's crazy. Too much. This is decent though.
This
I'd
is
say
decent,
this
right?
is it.
These
I'd,
are always-
I'd wear that fit.
I'd wear
probably
this one.
that.
Yeah,
I'd style it a little differently, but I'd wear it.
exactly.
Mhm.
I'd put
I'd
this
wear those
shirt
clothes.
on the last one.
Mhm.
Now, speaking of bags and ties, we got Alfred Shangoon here.
Alprin.
Hate it.
Alfred
Alprin.
Shangoon. Alfred Shangoon. He's got the two-tone bag, the red and the black bag. It's huge, by the way. It's the biggest bag. It's maybe second biggest bag I've seen. And I don't know about this
Yeah.
this fluffy tie
Are they
he's got
like
on.
rose petal? It's kind of
It's-
hard to tell.
It's
what I'm
kind of
looking at.
hard to tell. I tried to get a pretty big picture of it and make sure I got all of his body in. It was an interesting one for me. So I didn't know how to feel, but I didn't hate it. But I wanted to get your guys's, because a lot of people were talking about this fit this weekend.
I don't
This was a
like
big
it.
talking.
This is not even a hesitation. Like, no.
I don't like it.
I
I
don't-
also
She goes, I don't like it.
the pants are too baggy to be like a dress pant. The tie looks like it's rose petals. Was it because it's Valentine's Day?
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
Probably.
I
Like
didn't
that's
think.
cute that he's
That would
doing
be
a
cool,
nod
at
towards
least.
Maybe
that.
okay, that makes
Is
more
it like
sense.
petals?
Yeah, it's
It
like
looks like maybe
petals
rose
and
petals.
ruffles.
Oh, because it also happens. This happens to your tie if you have a loose thread and you pull the wrong thread.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, but I think it's
Scrunches.
meant to be that
Because I've got
way.
ties that look
Yeah,
like
I
that.
doubt he'd be rolling up with a falling apart tie, but
I don't know.
Well,
I
he
mean, it
shouldn't-
looks like his. It's not tucked in. I was gonna say it looks like his trench.
At
coat.
this
like I
stage in
like
his
the
career-
coat by itself. I think it's just the pants are too baggy to go with the big trench. I hate the purse. The tie is fine because Valentine's Day, but like outside of that, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the color scheme. Like the color scheme goes really well. Like definitely a good traditional like color outlet, like overlay. But yeah, the tie.
The flower
I would say
tie.
with it being Valentine's Day, that's a nice touch. I would
And maybe
say
that's
a
why he's
nice-
got the red black bag. I didn't put the Valentine's in there. So
But the
that makes
bag,
sense.
the
Definitely for
bag like
V-Day.
matches the red carpet. I just don't. I don't like the bags. I mean, I don't know. Have a duffel bag. It's almost a duffel bag, but it's definitely a purse. It's weird. And I agree with Gianna on the bagginess. Like the bagginess is definitely a trend right now. And then the biggest thing I don't like about the bagginess is the pants are just straight up way too long.
Yeah.
Like those are going halfway down his foot. This guy is 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
How big are those pants?
Yeah,
Like,
Those are
definitely
big pants.
custom made.
These are
yeah,
big
like
pants.
that's crazy. So he got them custom made.
And
to
said
not
make them
fit.
look like they still don't fit.
Yeah, make it look like I have an older brother who I had to borrow these from,
For
or
s-
or my dad or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this looks like he did borrow his outfit from his dad.
For
actually.
sweats, I think the bagginess is fine, but like with a dress pant,
Get
make
it.
it tight.
fit
I
those
want to
pants.
see, like, I feel like it looks better when it's.
Yeah, you got to be clean
Yeah.
cut. It's all
Yeah.
about being clean cut. And this is
Otherwise,
just
why are you
very,
wearing a
like-
dress pant?
Yeah,
There we go.
but it's the fashion thing now. It's like, is he really trying to look dressed up, or is this fashion? I mean, I think this one is clearly like dressy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, is this more of a fashion statement, or is this more of like just wearing a suit kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing?
Yeah, I think he's missing a little. Something's missing, or something's
He's missing
off.
a blazer. Too, for
Something's off.
sure.
Yeah.
Blazer would have helped this out. A little
It
bit.
definitely would have helped it out. I was like, it's okay, but I wanted to get because people were talking about it. So I
Well, and
said,
then the
okay.
offsetting sizes too. Something I noticed a lot lately is like the t-shirts won't necessarily be baggy, but the pants will be like really baggy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the t-shirts will be a little bit, but like the pants have been like very, and not just Alpine here, but just the pants are like super disproportionately baggy. Like that's one of
Yeah.
the main trends I've noticed. It's just these ridiculous pants, and like
Mhm.
yeah, not getting a pass.
Not getting a pass.
Love the color scheme though. I would wear that color scheme.
Here's going to the most talked about outfit of the weekend. We got your boy Shay.
Oh gosh, I think he wore this jacket before.
He might have.
This looks familiar.
Your opinions always make me laugh on him. Oh gosh.
I don't try to be a hater, but like my God, it's like
I mean,
he's
this
taking
was
a
one of
class
the
on how
most
to
talked
piss me off.
about outfits of the weekend. People really liked it. So I had to get your guys' opinion because people said they really liked it.
Well, the 70s.
I
are
do
back.
not agree with people.
Yeah, I mean, like the 70s are in full swing here. We've got like full on boot cut, like suede brown with like a darker like earth red with a leather jacket and then just a big
The
old
belt
belt
just throws
buckle
it off
and then
too,
the
yeah.
fur. Like we were talking about this earlier, but the 70s have like
I don't know
made
what's
a
gonna,
full circle back into here with the
with the
color.
glasses.
And
With
then
the
the glasses, like you're adding a little 90s flair in there. I mean, I don't know. Like, I actually kind of like the jacket, but I hate
I like the jacket.
I like how it's being used. We'll put it that way. Like,
yes,
love
the
the
utilization of the
I would own
jacket
that
in the look
jacket.
is not great, but that jacket by itself,
Yeah,
on a
pretty sick.
on a hanger.
And then he's got his little
Looks great.
Converses. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is weird. It's
I
just,
wasn't
again,
a
it's one
fan
of
of
those
this one,
outfits.
actually. This was the one I wasn't a fan of. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think this would have been a lot better without the fur. I think the fur really off-puts the
I
rest of the
agree.
outfit. The color, it throws the whole color scheme off. Like, without the fur, I think that actually wouldn't be a bad outfit, especially with the tonality. Everything fits. It even, like, accents his new Converse really well. Like, that color's almost identical, which
Yeah.
shoes to pants is really difficult to do. So it's just it's just doing too much.
It's
He
doing too
just
much.
I
did a little
agree.
too much, and it ruined it.
And do not get me wrong, I am a fan of fur. I love fur, but that one looks too much like I wrapped like a tail around my neck
Yeah.
or something.
Should have worn like a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that fur's not doing it for me. I do agree that I think all of the pieces separately are pretty cool. Like, I like the pants, I like the shoes, I like the coat. But like together, it's a little interesting.
it's a little.
I don't like the belt. The fur and the belt can go. The rest can stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also LA. So, like,
It
why the
Things
hell
are a
is he
little-
wearing all that fur?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that's a Colorado or a New York or I don't know, some place where it's actually cold, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's.
Just trying too hard here. And Shay's a big try hard.
Yeah. And I was just expecting more out of, like, a really cool fashion look from him. And then when he showed him in this, I was like, yeah, we're just
Fell a
all
little
mailing it
short.
in this week, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
I just think it's so interesting that it's like how fashions become, let me find the weirdest thing and put it
Yeah,
on me.
instead
Like,
of
what
that's
is
always
that
the
scarf?
runway though,
what-
you know?
I don't. Yeah. Why is he wearing it like that?
Yeah.
Like, he could have just put the scarf on, but he had to, like,
Drape
tie
it.
it and drape it
Yeah.
over
It would have been
here.
better as like almost like a over like a shawl.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I got you. It's
Because I'm with you. I like fur when you use it right. Like,
Yeah.
I have some fur jackets.
I
Like,
love
I think when you
fur.
wear fur properly, it looks really awesome. But
Mhm.
you just got to do it. And if you don't wear it at the right time, I feel like it's like this: you stand out in the wrong
Yeah,
way.
there's
Yeah.
definite aspects where fur can look either classy or not.
yeah. Agreed.
This is a knot.
This is a knot. I have this
Not it.
video. Let me see if this will work. If this works in the right way, let me see. I have this video. I don't know if it'll. Hopefully, it shows up in there like I want it to look. So here were some of the other looks here.
This is good. These are all like normal.
Mhm.
I like that one.
I like the suits.
Yeah, those are nice. Jokic, classy.
Plain black.
Jokic could be in charge of the NBA. Actually, not a bad one from Chet there.
No, not too
I
bad.
I like
that.
that.
That's all. That's not bad for Melo. De'Aaron
Yeah.
could have tried harder.
Yeah.
Could have tried harder. You look like a high school kid.
I like the suits.
They're
Yeah, I
saying,
definitely appreciate the return to the suits. I think
Let's run through that.
I think it
one more
was
time.
fun playing around with it, but I'd love to see the NBA to get more back into the suit look. But it's
Yeah.
good to see these guys kind of doing that.
I
on their
like
own.
the suits. The suits, the ones
Like
that they
that
went out and got a
green,
clean
mhm.
suit looks so good because we never really see them in it anymore.
Right.
Like you're saying,
Yeah.
we always see them in sweats or
Like, that looks
something else.
good. Suits look
Also,
good.
like, not to be a hater on anyone specific, but like that, like, we went from Jokic in his suit to Jamal in his zip up, you know? Like, it kind of makes the rest of the players look like they're not putting in any effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely some disparity there. It would be nice to at least have some sort of like
Guideline.
Guideline.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, I don't know. I want these guys to be comfortable, but at the end of the day, like
If they're only wearing it for,
there's a lot of
10
visual
minutes.
Right.
representation.
I only got it on for 10 minutes.
Right.
But now they're at this point too where all these
And this
brands
is-
have gotten integrated, and so now I feel like it'd be really difficult to change the rules at this point because now you're going to risk upsetting brands that have like partnership deals, and like there's a lot league fits, like there's a lot that rides on the uniqueness of their outfits now.
I just feel like there should be some sort of attire that they get told to wear.
They should all take a class
Yeah.
on how to actually dress themselves.
And speaking of our guys, here's Jokic in a sweatsuit here.
I love when
I-
he goes casual. It's
I
so
love when he
funny to
goes
me.
casual because it's always like just monochrome
Mhm.
Yeah.
and has his brand, and it's like he's fine.
Shout out
Exactly.
361, man.
Shout out 361. That's why I wanted to put that on there. Shout out you guys, appreciate it. I played a little hoops in my shoes the other day. They're really cool.
They're nice, dude.
They're
They're,
really
good
nice.
shoe.
And then we had Molly Mall.
That's not as bad.
This is not as bad
It's
as
not as
the
bad.
the sweatsuit
He
he,
does
showed up
definitely
in.
give like Kanye West graduation day, high school vibes. Right now. That's what I'm getting.
Those are coming majorly into style for females as well. That like
Yeah, they
the
are.
big
Mhm.
thick polo stripes again with the
Yeah,
white
they are.
collars.
Mhm.
Well, I probably have some in my closet in my parents' house. So,
pull them out of
yeah,
storage.
like all right, cool. I get to wear all my old stuff again.
Well, it might be time to get them out.
Yeah, well, bagginess came back. Why not?
Yeah,
polos?
fashion repeats itself.
Why
There's
not
another
polos? Man,
example.
it just didn't take very long this time.
No, exactly.
Like no time at all.
All right. Well, yeah, those were our looks. That's like I said,
Not bad.
it was okay.
It was better
definitely
than normal, I would
Better
say.
than normal for sure. Definitely not as many where I'm just like, how do you get out of bed?
Right.
Like, how are you?
How are you?
How are you in
But
public
that
looking
is
like
what gets me going. Is when Ron is just completely shocked
off
and
by the
thrown
outfit.
off by the fit.
I just have
I
to
mean,
like.
some of them are crazy. Like, do you look
Yeah.
in the mirror before you walked out?
That's
Yeah.
my
It doesn't
thought.
seem like it.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing that kills me. It's like, are these guys actually paying attention to some of
Yeah.
the stuff they're wearing? Like, I don't know. Like, everyone has different perception of themselves, but like somebody's got to be in there talking to them a little bit.
Somebody,
Like,
someone's. I think, yeah, like we
Well,
talked
and
with
I
Sam
think there
that one
is.
time.
That's what's crazy. Like,
That's
is
the
your
problem,
stylist
yeah.
really putting you
Like
in
someone's
this?
like, yeah, you look good.
no,
You
this
look
is
good.
great.
You
and
look
it's like a trash bag.
fantastic.
Maybe that's why, because once you're told to do something, it's a little easier to believe that it's great, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So maybe
or-
it's the stylist
You get
problem.
an expert explaining everything. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
is really on brand.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
super on trend right now.
or someone's paying them to wear it, which I never thought about. Maybe
It's a
they're gonna-
combination of that
Yeah.
for sure. I guarantee you some of these big brands are in their pockets 100%.
It's got to be right.
Yeah, like they're definitely. It's just like rap music. Like you think all those guys are talking about all these very specific luxury brands for no reason. Like,
You make a good point.
yeah, almost like like an ad.
Mhm.
Kind of sounds like an ad. It's like, well, these kind of look like ads sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair. You make a good point. I might need to start pointing that out. I might need to be like,
Ad.
outfit provided by.
Yeah. It's like, is this AI?
Right. Exactly. So, we're gonna wrap it up here. This is a fantastic episode. Go ahead and check out Gianna at our upcoming game. If you see her there, say
Yeah.
what's
Celtics
up.
will be the next one.
Celtics.
We'll
Big
be there
game
action
in a ball
tomorrow.
arena pregame, postgame, and everything you want to see and hear from the press conferences and locker room.
Yes, check us out at Gorilla Sports on all of your platforms. We can't wait to see you out there. It's going to be a great second, or I guess quarter of the year, more of a quarter than a half. But we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday for another episode of the Court Report. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you out there.